Just from the audio
And we're starting.
we're here.
And we're live.
And we're here.
Yes.
We did it.
We did it.
Okay.
Emily. Emmeline Dart, if we were to call you by your handle.
Yes.
I'm going to call you Emily.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
That's perfect. That is what most people call me in this world.
Right. Let's start by checking in around what's going on for both of us in this moment.
Yeah.
What's going on for you on a Monday morning in July?
It was a slow morning. Actually, this one wasn't that slow, but I usually like to start slow.
Okay.
I usually like to ease into the waking realm. Because and so I start usually. I have a first breakfast, second breakfast.
That's so good. You're like a hobbit.
Yeah. Yeah. I just find it too overwhelming to just launch into a full breakfast right in the morning. So I usually just do something small, like a granola type thing. Mm-hmm. Usually sweet. And then once I'm ready, then I'll go and have a full breakfast.
It's beautiful. So, Emily, as the magical human that you are, 2 weeks ago, Tom Forsyth of Sugar Turtle Studio, who teaches art journaling, partners with local artists to sell stickers. He's magical. And he and I talked about sticker money. He talked a little bit about how it's dangerous to rely on the systems of capitalism as an artist in the long term. I asked him could we use the word risky instead? Just because danger sounds maybe a little overactivating. Sure. But I hear him because also we all go through periods of dormancy in terms of output and what's feeling good. And you and I have talked frequently about how important it is to both of us to make sure you as an artist are long term making the connections and finding the spaces where you're going to really thrive. Yeah. So we want to front load this conversation talking about two things. Team 44.4, yes. What is it? Yes. There's the Patreon. And also a ride that the 44.4 collective, which is, Team 44.4 with the word point spelled out in English, POINT, and numbers. That is an Instagram handle that is for the education offerings that it is my intention to bring into the world over time. And the idea of that space is promoting societal change, urban and rural, reinvigoration via delight, artistry, and local initiatives. That is maybe a fancy long way of just saying it's a kid safe space. Yeah. And you have created a beautiful design that we're going to replace. I right now have a picture of a card with people riding bicycles on it. We're going to replace that on Instagram with a color version of what you did. Talk a little bit about what it looks like, or maybe if you want to hold up to the camera the picture, you can.
Yes, I can. Okay. Wait 1 second. Can I hear a little bit of audio coming from this?
Okay.
There we go. Cool. Oh, it wants to say. Oh, do you see that?
Yeah. They have ways of the technology. It has ways of doing it.
I try to figure it out every day. Yeah, so I don't have the original sketch with me. I usually start in my sketchbook, just pen on paper. When you brought this idea to me of a fox on a bicycle, I thought it's a fox on a bicycle. I thought that was so fun and so cute. And the way I started was actually by just doing some exploration on foxes in general. How do they gesture. How do their bodies look? Yeah, I think I was just trying to get acquainted with what a fox actually looks like. So I don't have my sketchbook here, but you would see just a lot of foxes in different positions. Um, and then slowly trying to move it in a more cartoonish direction because it kind of started very realism as I just explored fox anatomy and things like that. And then slowly trying to get it into a space where it's more simplified and also more expressive and cute, I would say. Um, and then became the hardest part was which was like how can a fox literally, a fox's body even exist on a bike? Because I didn't, I don't think either of us were looking to make it humanoid in any way.
Right.
Which was
Yeah.
We weren't looking to do like a fox head and human body.
No.
So that was also interesting. I think I also did some studies on bikes because of course I've seen a bike many a times in my life, but when I went to actually draw it, I was like, I don't think I know what a bike structure is.
Right.
So yeah, figuring out how a fox anatomy and a bike anatomy come together just required a lot of just sketches of bikes and foxes.
See, and there's also such a sense of both. There's this and we kind of went back and forth, audio texts back and forth on this. When I looked at the design, it gave me such a feeling of delight. Like there's like mirth and pleasure in this fox that's riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
Almost like it's just figured out, hey, I know how to ride a bicycle, which is so great. And I love hearing you talk more about your process because I think people are going to be delighted when they see it. And we're going to make it in sticker form.
Yes.
It's also going onto a patch that people could put on any kind of bag or on certain kinds of fabric that they wear. It'll probably end up on a hat, like the patch thing.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful organization we're partnering with in Lawrence that makes stitching embroidery. All of those details, I might end up having a conversation with that Lawrence team on what that looks like, their process, right?
Yeah, I think we've talked about like bumper stickers as
well.
So, I think the purpose is to make a design that can work in many sorts of
Exactly.
or different products and things like that.
Yeah. And one of the things that we agreed upon before we started recording today is that in certain forms of this design, it will always have your Instagram handle at Emmeline's Art on the design itself. So I think like bumper sticker, which we could do stickers, but also maybe magnets.
Yeah,
I like the magnet idea. Like I think for the stickers and magnets, it always has there. It might be a little too much to do it on a patch too, but we could kind of look at what that might look like. Yeah. So we'll talk about it.
It's something I've never I've done many designs before, but never specifically for this type of for this type of production.
Yeah.
For stickers and stuff. So it's a learning process to see how that works.
Yeah.
But that has been really an interesting part of it.
I love it. So what I want to talk about in terms of Team 44.4 and the 44.4 collaborative is that I started the collaborative with I could say like a ragtag team of humans, but also like this ragtag team are all brilliant humans who understand both what it is to be an artist and highly sensitive, and also the ways in which sometimes that coincides with backgrounds of trauma or neurodiversity. So we created a policy that I want to give you a copy of.
Yes.
And that policy, which was originally authored with tiny tweaks from me by Jake Egan O'Hara, who's a wonderful theater educator, designer, has been on Broadway, wonderful, wonderful mind.
Yeah.
And I always like to give him credit when I talk about the fact that we created this policy that people were signing off on for the purpose of a staged reading. We're not talking extensively about that today, but one of the buckets on Patreon is that we want to fund a filming of a documentary um, in about 2 years, where we film it in 2 weeks or less, and maybe use some older footage. And we do it primarily with people who aren't like professionals, but like we pay them, we all get paid the same wage for that time. And that's like one project of Team 44.4 under Patreon. Like people will be able to give to that project.
Sure.
And within the 44.4 collective, I believe in offering support in philanthropic spaces that feel meaningful. So I'm someone who's fundraised many times in my life for lots of different things. I'm pretty good at it. At some point, maybe doing a part time development job would be fun. And I tend to see and find out about places where there's real need, right? At any given time, I know of like 5 different people in my mind who I'm like, gosh, I wish I could give money to them directly, right? One area that I think matters immensely is physical health. And on August 16th, there is a ride for the cure, and the cure is for diabetes. Now, I have a history of diabetes in my family. I also love to ride my bicycle. So it feels like a no brainer to do our best to have some t shirts, stickers, maybe the patches as well for August 16th. When I myself am challenging my body, which is recovering from a spinal injury, by doing, I signed up for the 15-mile ride. Pretty sure I can pull that off by August 16th because I cycle almost everywhere most of the time. But these days I have to give myself plenty of rest, a lot of yoga. Let me ask you, do you ever ride a bicycle?
Yeah. I
Would
really
would
not
you like to ride for the cure on August 16th? And are you free that day?
August 16th?
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Definitely not 15 miles.
That's cool. Well, one of the great
Definitely
things
not
is
15 miles,
they
but
also
I would love to.
they also have a 5K. That's like
Okay,
the
yeah.
fun ride. And they also have like places where people can volunteer.
Yeah.
So we might end up with like a little booth and you sit
Yeah.
at the booth or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
I would love to be
Yeah.
involved some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I love it. All right,
I
cool.
do love riding my bike. It's been a while. I don't have my bike here in the city, but
Oh, okay.
when I go back to my house or to my parents' house, I will ride and I like it.
Oh, I love
But
that.
that's to
Yeah.
say that my stamina may not be
And
where
that's
it needs to
yeah,
be for
and
a
that's good. Yeah.
15K or 5K.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe actually maybe
Well, the
I could
5K
ride
is fairly short. There's also spaces where you can rent a bike or
Yeah.
like there's lots of things. I also have 2 bikes. So
Oh,
potentially you could use
cute.
one of my 2 bikes. We can talk about that
We
later.
can talk about it.
What I think matters is, for the purposes of sharing information about this ride, is that people can do it virtually. They don't have to do it in Lexington, Massachusetts, where it's happening. They can do it from, anywhere they live in the world. And they can get some free merch from Ride for the Cure. The Ride for the Cure will like send them, which is cool.
Yeah.
And we, as the 44.4 Collective or Team 44.4, we also will be like giving stickers who are doing it through our team. So in this episode, if I can figure it out at the end of the live, I will, add how people can look this up. Have a little postcard over there. And if you look up Team 44.4 rides, I'll also be sending emails out to some of my friends, especially those I know who like cycling. So it's like I'm not looking for like 80 people to join my team this year. Maybe that'll happen a year from now.
Right.
But like if 5 to 15 people are like, yeah, I'm going to ride, or me and my family are going to ride around where we live in California or wherever they are. Like, we want to raise some money in this direction through your team, and sure, send us stickers or a patch or a t-shirt. like that feels really fun to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what spoke to me when you brought this collective to me, and of course I've been busy making the design, so I have not been as engaged in all of the things you're holding when it comes to this team. Like you have an amazing way of holding all sorts of ideas and things. But I think what spoke to me was this goal of kind of just bringing community together and also finding a way to encourage just acts of play and delight and fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I based the design on, was just like this feeling of like just coming together for a fun time. Yeah.
I love your articulation of that because the community building and like let's bring people together thing, that is one of my central energies in this life is community. You could say community organizing, sure, I'm pretty good at that. Also, it is about the feeling of being with other people, right?
Yeah.
What is one thing that for you as an artist, you know is one of your central things?
I would say it's pretty aligned with that as well.
Yeah.
I think what fulfills me most about art and animation specifically, because my for those who don't know, my specialty is animation. Um, and what fulfills me the most is coming together with other artists and working with a team. And I think my goal would be to help other artists along the way make art, because I think it's hard right now to be an artist, and there are so many amazing, talented, passionate people out there. And I think it would be um, not only fueling to me, but also I love to see people do what they're passionate about, and I want to bring other artists up with me. Like all of us coming up, and I think. I mean, this is something I could talk about for a while.
Yeah,
If there's a lot with animation specifically, I think there's not as much. I've been doing research on unions and things like that, and it is not as developed in the animation area. And I think there's one big one in California.
Okay.
Um, and it's something that I have to look more into. But for example, for like film, like live action productions, there's union for like every aspect of it.
Okay.
And for animation, it's a lot more limited. So I just see a lot of areas where like animators can come together more and get more support, and just from other animators, but also from the industry itself. And yeah, so that's a long way to say that my goal is to just work with other artists and help provide fulfillment and success, and um, also allowing artists and animators to do this as a full-time thing, because there's a lot of animators out there juggling all sorts of jobs to make it a possibility. And yeah, I think I would love to get to a point where they're able to prioritize that as their full-time thing, because it's a gift, like what they're able to do.
Yeah.
As Yeah, so
I love your energy around this because it's so congruent with my own. Um, I know for sure that if I need times of solitude and focus to get certain kinds of tasks done, and at the same time, I need the energy of others to revitalize me.
absolutely.
And you say, you hold so many things. And I'm like, yes, and sometimes I kind of like throw them all on the floor or stick them in a drawer and I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to take a break. And we'll talk more about this soon, but I've made some great connections here in Somerville specifically, which is where I'm living until at least at the end of August.
Yeah.
And like there's the organization Art Stays Here, which is incredible around supporting and strategizing to keep artists local. Massachusetts is one of the hardest places to buy property and maintain like living. Often people call it Taxachusetts. And there are some cities and areas that are cheaper, but mostly like it's hard to live here. And
Yeah.
I'm committed to Massachusetts as my home in so many ways because I've lived here pretty much for 22 years, with 10 months in Wichita, Kansas, which is a different story and an amazing place. Yeah, but I love Massachusetts, and I'm hoping to get on lists for artist housing in a few different towns. And I think those wait lists are like 2 years long.
Yeah.
So I may end up like doing traveling, staying in friends' basements because I want to live in Massachusetts, but also I feel like it's hard to pull off.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
And I feel similarly that
Mhm,
I'm very dedicated to Massachusetts. I've moved a lot in my life,
mhm,
and I think I found a home in Massachusetts that I'm
mhm.
not willing to give up without a fight.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's difficult, but at the same time, I there's so many amazing people here.
Right?
And
Yeah.
I think there's a way.
Yeah, I
I
do
think
too.
there's a way.
And, I I'm someone who is not risk averse. So when Tom says, relying on like sticker money for like
Yeah.
living is dangerous, I'm like, there might be an element of danger, and I will rise to the risk, and I will do it with as many other people as possible in ways that feel loving. So let me plug in as much as I can to other spaces that understand this. And I'm really just starting to do that in Somerville. I do feel like this feeling of like, this is where I want to live, like right around here. And I know a number of other communities in Massachusetts that I love. So I'm like, breathe and trust and don't get too overworked about all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what is one practice that you rely upon fairly regularly to help yourself come back to the breathing and trusting and not getting worked up too much?
Feel like that's a combination of things. Takes a lot to not get to not get swept up in the fear of the unknown, I guess you could say.
Mm, mm,
Um, Definitely taking it day by day. I know that's so cliche, but I really I try to focus on the little enjoyments of every day. Um, Self-trust has been a big one. I
mm,
think it's a lot easier to feel trust in life and others and the future if there's a baseline self-trust.
mhm,
Because I've definitely experienced periods of my life where my trust in myself has been um, low, and that's the moments that I have felt the most afraid and unsteady and the most caught up in these what ifs.
mhm,
And I think being able to come back to myself and think, well, at the end of the day, yeah, at least I have my back. So I'm gonna, whatever happens, I know that I can like count on myself
mm,
to come through. And I think that has really, really helped. And then feeding that, daily by like
mhm,
keeping myself fed and
mhm.
just the basics
Yeah,
like
yeah.
showering and like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
giving myself and my body little things
Mhm,
that feel good,
mhm,
um and just continuously showing up for myself um has has built a strong foundation that again makes it easy to just at the end of the day like at least I'll come back home to me. So it's like I whatever happens we'll face it together in a way,
yeah.
like together as in like me and myself.
Mhm,
um and then lastly just focusing on the people close to me. Yeah,
mm,
like
mhm,
family and friends and loved ones.
mhm,
Taking care of them is big for me,
mhm,
especially when it feels like so many things in the world feel so helpless in a way. Like
mm,
I'm like these
mhm,
big problems and these big communities that need help feel so um discouraging at this
mhm.
idea of like there's nothing I can do right now to greatly fix this problem. And
Right.
I mean it's great to be involved, like for example the
The ride
the
for the
ride, the
cure.
ride for the
Yeah.
cure
Yeah.
is a great way to get involved
Mm-hmm.
in change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but on a day to day, like hour to hour basis,
Mm-hmm.
I try to recognize that the most I can do is take care of myself and
Yeah.
take care of the people close to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that helps to not sink into the like I'm just one person type mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my couple things that help
I
to
love
keep me
that.
grounded
Yes.
and
Yeah.
not allow the fear to take over.
Yeah. I like that we both experience times of fear or anxiety. Um, I also want to name that this time on the planet is a really challenging time. And for me, but I think for most people, with some exceptions, I'm sure, um, getting into spaces where you feel agentic, like you have some agency,
Yeah.
but also you're surrounded by like minded or like open hearted others.
Yeah.
Doing that in doses that feel good, reasonable, and doable
Absolutely.
is so good.
Yeah.
I met an incredible man named Dan, who is a member and one of the organizers of the Boston Cyclists Union.
Yeah.
And I met him at a really low moment in the winter. And he paid for me to become a member of the Boston Cyclists Union because I was like, I actually have no money right now. I'm in the red because my divorce is going through, my condo hasn't sold. It's embarrassing, but and he was like, "Oh my god, like I'll pay like no problem, right?"
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost much money to join the cyclists union. It was this moment for me of feeling really seen and cared for by somebody who I had just met.
Yeah.
I walked into the cyclists union because I was like, I've heard of this. I want to know more about it. And I also walked in because I was in pain and cold and on my bicycle. My car had been towed illegally. This is like, it was like a cataclysmic winter in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
Like
And
snowball.
yeah,
No pun.
yeah, no,
No pun.
it was a hard winter for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people.
Yeah.
And Dan was one of my lifelines in that moment. And now, like, I look probably about once a week at like what's going on with the cyclist union on like whatever the app is. What is the app that people use for a lot of things, especially video games?
Discord?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've also used it in other
Yeah.
spaces. So
No,
like
that's the main one.
yeah, yeah, but like I love that I am a member of the cyclist union. I've shown up in some spaces and like talked about safety and like I'm learning more on the daily about how to ride through Somerville. I'm excited that I have this goal. I also have my gym in Roxbury, one more rep, where I met an incredible young person recently who provided cycling support for the run team on Saturday. And I plan to do that hopefully this Saturday. Every day I wake up and I don't know, well, no, when I wake up within about a half hour, I know what kinds of things my body will want to do that day.
Mhm.
It's a lot of yoga right now, a lot of like making sure I sleep a full 8 hours. It's a spinal injury situation that I'm healing very carefully. And I'm teaching yoga on Tuesday nights at One More Rep in Roxbury. Soon I'll be teaching for Down Under, and maybe some other spaces. I don't even know what all comes for me in the fall.
Yeah.
And as aforementioned, like the housing insecurity piece is a challenge that I'm on the daily doing some discerning around. And I gave myself permission a few weeks ago to not make any big moves until the beginning of August in terms of like deciding on a possibility
Yeah.
because I know about myself that making a decision from a place of fear and anxiety, I end up making a decision that's not great.
And I think
Right?
that's true for a
For
lot
most of
for
us.
most people.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You have this rice in a bag.
Yes. This is I fidgets are
Fidgets are
fidgets
helpful.
are helpful
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
Um
My
I
friend Tia
also
gave me this, by the
it's
way.
nice. It's
Shout out
really
to
nice.
Tia. Yeah.
You can't really see it from the distance that we're at, but it's just a bag filled with rice with
Little toy.
little trinkets in it. I love it. It's perfect. Um Actually you said something that reminded me of another thing that I think helps to keep me, I think, in high spirits, which is just exercising free will, like in little tiny ways.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like walking into a random shop that like I am probably not going to buy anything at, or has nothing to do with anything that's related to me, but um yeah, just changing it up every day. I find myself very grateful in some ways that I can do a lot of my work remotely. I like the feeling of being able to work from different spaces. That's not to say that I would not love to work in like a studio or something like that. But I think right now I'm really enjoying just exploring all of the cafes and places that are around here. Um, and when I need it, I think mindfulness is big for me as well. And when I say that, I mean like trying to zone in on things. And so shopping actually does do that. Shopping meaning just walking around and like looking, like literally picking up every single little item. I think it's a good mindfulness exercise for me.
I love this.
Yeah.
What I want to name about that is there's a sensorial aspect
Yes.
of your sensitivities, right?
Yeah.
There's for me too. And for me, when I walk into a beautifully curated, organized space, it helps settle my nervous system.
Definitely.
And I'm very good at walking into a space, not buying anything,
Yeah.
or buying one thing that I need or that really speaks to me, right?
Exactly.
I know you identify as a highly sensitive person because we've both talked about
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've come to the conclusion that I was like, why am I struggling?
Oh.
And I was like, or like not struggling, but why am I affected like more
Yeah. Yeah.
than some other people?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is affected in different ways, but I think coming to that conclusion has helped me be a little bit more gentle with myself. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, it's okay. You're just a little more sensitive. You need a little more, care.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Jewel wrote a song, I'm Sensitive and I'd Like to Stay That Way,
Yeah.
years ago. And I come back to that over and over again because often people will say something to me like, well, stop crying and like move on with your life. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but my life involves crying. And I'm grateful that I get to cry.
Yeah.
Because at one point I was forced to take psychotropic medication that made it impossible for me to cry. And I love crying. It is a cleansing experience for me. And I will never, never not espouse the right of anyone to cry.
Yeah.
And also, like the medication thing, there was a time in my life when medication was helpful. So, like, I don't tell people don't go on medication, but like, make your choices according to what your intuition and your knowing allows for, to whatever extent you're able to pull that off, you know? Let me ask you, do you also identify as neurodivergent?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I think for me, I don't often use those labels.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that I lead with or necessarily identify with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But when people ask, I'm like, sure, yeah. I'm like, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that you're saying this because
Yeah.
Kate Anderson, who's going to be on the podcast in early August, she's a local teacher, and she worked. Well, I think she's just moved, so her story is going to be her story in early August. Yeah. But she used to teach at Buckingham Brown and Nichols, which is a private school in Cambridge. Okay. And she, when we talked initially, we talked right here before she flew town again. Her story for a different state. Yeah. And she and I agreed, like labels are generally less helpful than people want them to be. Yeah. And this is tricky because people love labeling things.
Well, and people like organization.
Yes. We like categorization.
Categorization.
Yes. Yes. And also like I like literally labeling things. Like you can see,
Yeah.
I made cute little labels for my drawers, right?
I actually am the type of person that will make a folder and a folder and a folder and a folder.
Yes.
That's how
Mhm.
detailed the organization goes. So I
Yeah.
understand to
Yeah.
some degree, but I also find it limiting in some ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that you speak to that. When I started this podcast, I included a lot of like mental health information, and I have a diagnosis from many years ago now, 10 years ago, of bipolar disorder. All of that seemed ridiculous to me in the time it was happening.
Sure.
And yet, like until they change it on my chart, it's part of my profile, which is a highly stigmatized diagnosis based on my given experience and plenty of other people I know who have it. And, you know, to me, it's bullshit. It is. And part of that is because diagnosing comes out of the Civil War.
Yeah.
I've probably said this 20 times on this podcast. Men's bodies, guns, bombs, cannons, all of it comes out of a Western medical model that was like trying to understand insane, violent trauma.
Yeah.
And I like that I've told people this as someone who has a background in being a clinician at this point, because often just knowing that gives people a little sense of like, oh, maybe there's a possibility of relabeling, understanding differently. A lot of my wonderings right now, and I may end up going and doing doctoral work, I don't know, is around as we relabel or give things different names according to agency and somebody else's experience, and them choosing the way they prefer to identify, does that shift the way people perceive their experience? And like, I don't know that I want to do doctoral work. We'll see. But
There's many possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is real is that I've never been disordered.
Yeah.
Except when I'm like totally underslept in the middle of an artful project. And like that's being an artist.
Yeah. part of I mean I say this like a lot of animators say this, like you have to be a little crazy to animate.
Yeah.
It's such a tedious and it takes 16 hours for like a second. It's like, so you have to be a little crazy, and I think that's fine.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready to try some soursop?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was actually thinking about it just now. I was like, I think I'm ready for my soursop.
This is exciting. Okay. So this is a branding opportunity for my YouTube channel and for Team 44.4 that comes through David Suazo, who is from the Dominican Republic originally. He is an amazing human. This is a product that comes out of Colombia. I just met David on Saturday at an event in Jamaica Plain. Now, I really liked his vibe. I'm going to send him this video to watch some point later this morning.
I'm so excited. This is
a fruit that I had never tried before. I ate a little bit in the car the other day. My teeth are newly brushed, but I want to see how you react to it initially.
Because when you said that it was like I thought you were gonna say passion fruit or star fruit or something.
Yeah,
I have not tried this.
Sour.
Is this something that I pick up with my?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
I'm like I can grab a fork for you if you prefer, but I trust your fingers. I saw you wash them.
Okay. So it's a little bit like a apple.
So the texture, yeah.
So it is sour, actually.
It is a little sour, right? It has a tang to it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I love it. It's like nothing I've ever tasted.
I know, right? Yeah. When I had it on Saturday, I was really hungry and a little hangry. Mm-hmm. And I was like eating like chunks of like a really good croissant. And I was like, this is not good because this is like this is like a carbohydrate kind of thing that doesn't have much protein in it, just like a little bit of butter. And this made me like pause from the croissant energy. It was a tang and it was chewy in a way that I really liked.
It's chewy, but I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have to work to get through it.
Right?
Like to eat it.
Yes. I'm also really interested in like whether this now that we're talking about like Ride for the Cure, right?
Yeah.
If this is like a low glycemic index, I think it probably is for a fruit based on the fact that it is a little sour.
Yeah.
So it's 76 calories, and it's total carbohydrates 18 grams, 7%. Dietary fiber 3 grams, total sugars 14
And the serving
grams.
size is 1 cup. Like that's a
Yeah,
lot. That's almost the whole
yeah,
packet.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
there's 2
Yeah.
cup. Yeah. So like you and I together could eat this. It has potassium in it, which is nice. 4% of your daily, an average person's daily. I also love that it does have a gram of protein.
Yeah.
So I think this is a pretty great snack,
I think
especially for a road trip or like a bike ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's perfect for me is that I really like sour candy,
Okay.
but a lot of them are not made with the best stuff. They've actually,
Yeah.
recently I've seen some more sour candy that's
Mhm.
like, I don't know, but it's really expensive. Anyways,
Yeah.
this fulfills that sour craving, like sour
Nice.
candy
Yeah.
craving.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I have. Let me
Yeah.
get a napkin.
Yeah. Go for it.
So it's a little wet, but I do
Take
like
your
that.
time. Yeah. And it's also like it's a little wet. It has some moisture in it. There's no dyes or additives in this. It's a product of Colombia, and I believe that David has a Amazon store that supplies this, and you don't have to refrigerate it until you've opened it, which I also like for like traveling, right?
I like it chilled.
Yeah, it's good cold from the
Yeah.
fridge too,
It's
right?
nice.
Would you like another piece?
Honestly, yeah. I'm gonna grab.
I want somebody just
Honestly, yeah.
I'm
gonna grab a fork.
I will attest to the fact that I like it. So right now we are not getting paid as affiliate sponsors, but I'm hoping that David will hook us up. And David is
I'm just excited. I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
love fruits.
Yeah. Well, also when I talk about affiliate sponsorships, like a lot of the concept right now is when a person has a social media platform. I have YouTube and I have Substack. And then also like some Instagram and like other things that I do. Um, Finding spaces where you can earn like a small percentage of proceeds is a really great way to have a little bit of income coming in that you run on your taxes, you do what you're doing with it, but also for the periods where you are needing rest, for you in your 20s, like hopefully like when you hit a dry spell and want some time off and 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, like 5 months, I don't know, like you have hooked up in some spaces where you have easy money coming your way, right? And you don't have to be like, well, now I need to drive for Uber and like find a full-time job in the next 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
what I want for you,
Like passive income.
passive
type
income.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But also with the dedication to, as I said, as we both said, kind of with this like underlying goal of bringing together community and also
yeah.
like bringing people up, like all together,
Yes.
which is very idealistic, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah.
But is also, I think, possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think possible.
I
Making
agree.
it all flow in a kind of circular
Yeah.
way of everybody
Right. profiting
and also just doing what they like to do.
Yeah. So we've talked about Soursop a little bit, and like part of it too, like bringing community together is about food.
Oh my gosh,
Right?
that's I didn't grow up having like family dinners and things like that. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
We didn't really come together over food in many ways, and as I've grown up and been able to create my own systems and things like that, food has been huge. Yeah, showing love through food and
Yes.
also making it like a daily ritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for naming that because food matters. And you and I have shared food together a couple times. Because you were at the last one that I've been doing full moon rainbow gatherings. And my fourth, third of them in Somerville will be on the 29th. And you're welcome to come.
It's already on my calendar.
Oh, good, good, good.
I would not miss it.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
The space of that time for me is about like, let's put away our technology. here's some Grain Bowl stuff. Every single time I felt like my space is kind of a mess still, but the people who are there are like, we don't care. We're really glad to gather and have some food, and like, let's raise a glass to bringing people together, right? And the raising a glass has joyfully gotten rid of all of my alcohol. I'm so glad I don't have any more alcohol in my home. Because I don't mind people drinking,
Yeah.
but I also have some triggers around that based on some trauma that I've been through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if people want to bring their own one drink and drink it when they're like, and they're a safe driver kind of person, like, it doesn't really bother me to have it briefly in my space, but I don't want to have a home with a lot of alcohol in it because it feels dangerous to me in a way. So I'm really glad that we're done with that. And this one will either be sober or people will bring their one drink for themselves.
Yeah.
And that'll
BYOB.
BYOB. And knowing that I always have iced tea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a really fun time. So.
Yeah. And it's nice.
And I think, sorry to cut
Yeah,
you off,
yeah.
but I think it is something that also I've learned is like I need recurring things that happen,
Mhm.
like touch points throughout the week,
Yeah.
like every month,
Yeah.
things like that, things to come back to.
Yeah. And this, I think, speaks to the importance of ritual.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We all need certain rituals. What is one daily ritual for you? Something that you do daily?
Hmm. I think it changes, and I think I'm also going through a period of rebuilding my day to day. So I think I'm trying out things. I would say something that has been important for me in the past year has been finding moments of body rejuvenation, and it changes like what that is. What it every day my body tells me kind of what that is. Some days it's like a heating pack. Some days it's like compression, like socks or gloves, things like that. I actually recently came across a shoulder massager, or I guess you can actually use it in any part of your body. It's kind of like it's a small massager. I came across it at a yard sale, and I was like, yes. So that has become part of that. So sometimes I will sit down for like a brief kind of like massage moment. Um, I have some sensory objects as well. I think probably people will know what I'm talking about, but it's like that metal thing that you kind of put on your, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's a scalp massager.
Like a scalp massager, yeah. I have different like sensory items. I have a little bin next to the couch that I have like deemed my body self-care bin. So yeah, finding moments to like give the physical body a little bit of attention has been a very important, because I think in the past my physical body was kind of like an afterthought. And animation and art in general can be really cause a lot of strain on the different muscles and stuff. So it's important. It's something that is important like on days when I'm drawing for most of the day. I have been trying to remind myself to get up, move around, do some stretches, just to keep myself like able to draw. But even on the days when I'm not actively drawing or working on something that physically challenging, I still try to find some time to kind of
Well, what I heard was you do a ritual, like daily, you're checking with your body. Which I think is so good because it's easy, especially if you're in digital realms,
Yeah,
to kind of dissociate from the fact that you have a body,
absolutely.
especially if you're like an imaginal being.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful way of being in the world, and also the like coming back to the body is. Mary Oliver famously wrote, maybe not everyone knows this quote, but to each of us is given the body gift. It's part of being human,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward. Maybe you'll want to put it on Substack and like tag me if you want to. The images of the sketch of the fox on the bicycle to
Yeah.
like show the
So
process,
yeah,
right?
I think one of my favorite things that artists post online are like all of the preliminary
Yeah,
sketches and the
yeah.
explorations that go into the final product because
Mhm.
it's yeah, there's like so many iterations that went into
Yeah,
this design and there
yeah,
probably will be more.
yeah, yeah.
Because we were trying to figure out like a black and white version which
Mhm.
requires some different stuff to make it
Mhm.
clear.
Mhm.
So we'll probably keep tweaking it. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really love especially the original sketches that go into it
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's fun to see how it evolves.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it shows the human aspect of creation where
Right.
um you can see a person's actual thought process through
Mhm.
each version,
Mhm.
which I think is special.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really
So I can
is.
absolutely yeah, I can post that later.
Yeah, I like the idea of that being some like it might even be that you every month do one post about a process. You know what I mean? On
Yeah.
Substack, and that's more of like your Substack presence because it can also be an Instagram reel, but that's like a faster
You
thing.
know,
I think people who are on Substack come to Substack with more of like a I'm going to take in
yeah.
something. I think. I don't tell
It's
me.
honestly something I'm still figuring out. I mean, as yeah, the social media thing and figuring out kind of establishing myself as an artist and as a presence online, I find it tricky. And
Mhm.
um, I do like the idea of Substack being kind of more like behind the scenes, like the
Yeah.
process
Yeah. Yeah.
type thing because again that's what I find like most joy out of looking at
Right?
online
Yeah. Yeah.
is just seeing what it took to actually get to
Mhm.
the final version
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that could totally be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like it also because when we are in a space of encountering and we choose to spend some of our time in a space like Substack or Instagram or YouTube, in a digital space, the curation of where we're engaging with those spaces really does matter for our mental, emotional, and physical longevity and health and joy. There's so much research on the fact that like spending tons and tons of time on social media is counterindicated for robust mental health. I think using it as a tool and using it for connection in ways that are delightful is great. And taking times away from it is really helpful.
Yeah, because it can just be especially as an artist I think I follow so many amazing people on
Okay.
Instagram like I love it.
Mhm.
But sometimes it is so much
Mhm.
that I can't even focus in on what I'm trying to do.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of a flooding of creativity and beautifulness and awesomeness, but
Yeah.
it can become almost like it freezes me in some ways because
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
much going on. So and also as a person who works remotely, I need to build in those times to like step away from the computer and things like that and
Yeah.
um specifically choose when I'm going to be working versus not working
Mhm.
because it's a gift to be able to
Mhm.
do the thing that I love to do and what I'm passionate about. But at the same
Mhm.
time, if I allow myself, I will literally work on it every second of every day. And I'll think about it. Like I will think about it for
Mhm.
every second of every day. So
Mhm.
I have to force myself to be like, okay, this time is not for thinking of any
Mhm.
of the projects that you're working on. meals has been a good way of me um allowing myself to step away. Like I've built a little bit of a boundary where I'm like, I'm not going to work through my meals. Like half eat
Okay.
and half work.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
I've been doing this recently too, is like
yeah.
getting back because as you know, I was a crisis worker for my last full time job, and I was good at taking breaks, taking a walk and stuff. But I also like there's something about crisis work where there's an adrenaline like baseline, and there's also like being on call, being up in the night, talking to someone. The way that it changed my nervous system for a period of time, what I'm in recovery from in a lot of ways is not just a spinal injury and some other trauma, but also like being a crisis worker and the feeling of like, if you don't do this thing for that person, like lives are at stake, like that energy is not a healthy long term energy for very many people. So I'm grateful to be in a space of like I may become a therapist again at some point. I am a life coach consultant person who mostly has just been like for the for the price of a cup of coffee, someone can pick my brain and
Talk
I'll
to
give their
me.
thoughts. And I at
Yeah.
some point I might be like, you might want to find a real therapist for that. but 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 I am technically still a real therapist, which is the irony, you know?
Yeah. You're like, find a real therapist, not me.
Yeah, not me.
But
Because now we're just kind of like people in a coffee
yeah.
shop.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Let me ask you, because this is part of the theme for Monday Morning Muse,
yeah.
and we're like getting to the end of our live. We'll probably be on for another 5 to 10 minutes.
Sure.
The theme for the summer on Monday Morning Muse is education and the things that we wish we had learned in educational spaces that we learned from real life instead. With a lot of focus for like high school and younger, but also some for college age, because I do feel like we put a lot of faith in our academic institutions. And a lot of the reason that they continue to be good spaces is because it's spaces where young people can find trusted other adults and other young people who will help them understand themselves and lives. And a lot of the most important education and learning happens way outside of the curricula. Tell me from the perspective of things you wish you had learned in school. What are some things you wish you learned that weren't part of the curriculum or curricula?
Yeah. I mean, I think we were talking, you were telling me a little bit about what other people have said. Some mentioned finance.
Hmm.
I very much agreed with that.
Hmm.
I think a lot of my fear around finance has been from a lack of knowing, a lack
Hmm.
of understanding really how things work.
Hmm.
Like, what's a credit card? Like,
Uh-huh.
now I
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
stuff that I've had to, learn on my own. And
Hmm.
maybe there was specific classes that I could have taken in like college or something, but it's not part of the I would have loved to learn high school, I think, before I really even started, having to manage my own finances and things like that.
Hmm.
Um Along those lines, it's different in many ways for freelance artists, and a lot of people who study art and animation right out of the gate are freelance artists before
Hmm.
they or not even before, some are full-time freelance artists and
Hmm.
that's their thing. um but most at least start freelance, and it requires a, a whole different system because
Hmm.
clients and employers, they don't take out the taxes. You have to
Hmm.
do that,
Hmm.
and you have to manage, like there it's just you need a system for it, and that's not something that we learned at all in animation school, and I found that really interesting. I didn't learn that. I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that. So yes, so I would like to second that. Yeah, more financial teaching is important. I think I would have liked a little bit more flexibility from guidance counselors and, I guess, mentor type people in school. The people who help try to guide your path and be like, especially during the final years of high school when they're trying to guide you into college and things like that. Um, I think that a lot of people in the school system have a specific idea of how to be successful. And that's not just college. I don't. Yeah. I don't have we can get into college. Yeah. I loved going to college, and I think that was a great, awesome choice. So it wasn't that I didn't want. It's not that I wanted them to discourage me from college, but it was more. Even back in middle school. I think there wasn't a lot of space for kids to need different things. Especially in some of the districts that I grew up in. Massachusetts was a lot more open to accommodations and talking about, um, just a little bit more leniency when it came to what I needed versus other students. Um, but I think I would have liked to know exiting high school that it's it's okay for the path to be that there are many paths. Yeah. That there are many paths moving forward, and that it doesn't all rely on you like being the best. Right. Or things like that. So I don't know exactly what that looks like. That's not me saying that I specifically wanted a nicer guidance counselor or something like that. I don't know what it looks like. I'm not sure what it looks like, but I think more of a I don't know. But I just would have liked a little bit more comfort from trusted adults that that it was going to be okay. Yeah. Regardless of all sorts of different elements. Yeah. That at that age you think, oh my gosh, I have to get the best grade on this or it's all going to crumble. And maybe that's coming from someone who has always been an anxious person. So I think the things that I would have needed to learn are a little different than what other kids maybe who really needed to be pushed. So maybe more sensitivity towards just the fact that people need different things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Okay. We finally got to it. This is great. Yes. This is great. Okay. So I like this because we named on the podcast with Breyer and Von Erich last week, and we were all huddled in this place. It was a little goofy. It was cute. We talked about financial education. Yeah. We talked about healthy relationships. Yeah. Yes. A couple of the things that are kind of coming up from you. I think doing education around one's sensitivities from a young age is good. Yeah. Things like passing around soursop and seeing who likes it and who doesn't. Yeah. Right? I doubt a lot of people are allergic to pure soursop, right? Yeah. When I worked at Stone Ridge Children's Montessori School many years ago, a woman named Pam, who is still now runs a small little private daycare. She ran the toddler house. She would be doing taste tests when I walked in, and she would exaggerate like a phenomenal cartoon character, eating something, sometimes things I had never tried before, an interesting fruit. She would be like, sour. So all of these little children, with whatever allergens were in the room at the time, that was not brought into the room. No one was going to try it in the toddler house, right? Yeah. There would be the most delightful experiences of different snacks being paired. Oh, if I eat this bite of this and this bite of this together, do I like it? Right? Yeah. And she would pair really interesting things. I watched her as though I was watching Sesame Street, just amazed at her ability to show her experience to, and
the reality of toddlers are. They react to big, overblown things.
Yeah.
So she was teaching me so much about how to work with tiny people. I was coming out of a job teaching middle school music.
Yeah.
Let's just say being like, ooh, yummy, squishy with middle schoolers.
It's
They don't like it, right? So I was learning how to work with early childhood from her and the other incredible early childhood teachers around me.
Mm-hmm.
I started a YouTube channel, right? And like to show how we work with young children in folk songs based on a curriculum by John Feyerabend that is like things that people do. He gathered folk songs years ago. Now, all of that is interesting if you care about folk songs and music, but also Soursop, voice reclamation. I'm doing YouTube lives this Wednesday. I, as a performance artist and musician, have an old space that I'm hoping to kind of have. I want it to become more passive income for me over the years, which is why I'm thinking about branding sponsors and all that. These are the entrepreneurial elements that I had some family and spaces helping me with. But like you, I wish I'd gotten more brass tacks financial education from pretty young. I think starting in middle school is a great time to really do this. The state of New Jersey now has mandated financial education
Like
that everyone must complete to get a high school diploma. I think that is very smart. And that was partly the work of an incredible Black woman whose book I bought in like a train station in Philly. Her name is Tiffany Aliche. And I've also like done some of her like live content. She has a book called Get Good with Money. She is the budgetnista. I am not getting any money from her, but she's awesome. And she was part of the person who made sure that legislation went through in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's cool, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Financial education.
Yeah.
Relationship education. I want to see more intergenerational collaboration between schools and young people because mentorship from someone who is a bored 65-year-old down the street from you when you're in high school might be exactly what brings you not only connections but also inspiration to like get into a space where you have more confidence in who you are, right? Now, as we start to come toward the end of this live and we're thinking about reality check, I'm also thinking about regulation of emotion and like curation of one's gifts. You're doing body check ins on the daily. I am too. We're both in seasons of transition. Um, we're going to be offering stickers. We might be doing some t-shirt tie dyeing for Ride for the Cure. You said you're probably going to come in some capacity. We'll talk about what that looks like. I want to preview that next week's podcast will not be a live. It will be a conversation that I record with my friend Tom this Friday that will post next Monday. He is a wise and incredible human, and he'll also weigh in on the conversation of reality check. Like what do we wish people were learning? Because he has kids who are grown now, and he'll definitely have a perspective, and he wants to be more vocal in uplifting the voices of men around social change and protecting people because he has a strong, powerful, protective energy to who he is. And he's seen too many people, men and women, go through exploitation. And he and I are going to talk about that. And that'll be added to our theoretical curriculum, right? Protecting others. So, conversation of advocacy might be part of that next week.
I think I just want to say before we move on as well, I think something that came up was learning self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Like being able to recognize what you're feeling. It's actually when you were talking about the taste test, I was like, this is very much more touching on, can I experience something and recognize what that feeling is and whether I like it or not, and then act accordingly.
Yes. I love this. Yes. This is good. Self-awareness. Advocacy is more other awareness, right?
Yeah.
This is good. We're kind of building a little curriculum right now. I like this.
Because as you're talking, I'm thinking like, it's almost impossible to know what others need and help others and help a community if there's no self-awareness.
That's right. Good.
Yeah.
We need both.
You need both.
I
Yeah.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Emily, being in your presence brings me more fully into my own settled energy.
I'm honored. I'm honored because I feel that way as well. Just being in the space is really comforting. You guys weren't here for it, but you gave me a beautiful, yummy breakfast that was really rejuvenating. And yeah, I love being in these conversations, especially because so much of my work really is just, solitary drawing. Um, and I like to have appreciate the space to be able to express myself in a different way. That's not like all art and, you know, something you can visually see. I like to express myself in a lot of ways, and talking is one of them, and connecting with like-minded individuals is one of them. So no, I'm thank you for having me on here.
You're so welcome. I'm grateful. And for those who are interested in projects of the 44.4 Collective,
Yeah.
Know that members of the collective will be given the opportunity to cross post things. We do have a Gmail address, and our Patreon account that's getting slowly re-upped is team TEAM the number four point POINT number four. If you look us up, that's us. And Ride for the Cure in Lexington, Massachusetts on August 16th. I'm going to grab my little postcard. It is a revolutionary tour and ride to free people from the burden of diabetes. New England Tour de Cure. It is through the American Diabetes Association. And there's routes for the entire family from 5 miles. Is that 5K? It's 5 miles. Through 100 miles, and opportunities to volunteer and participate remotely. So I'll have a member of their development team probably on the podcast at some point soon. It might be like an unexpected timing, or we might do a little short that we add on to the conversation with Tom next week. Tom also is a cyclist, so he'll be a good person.
I feel like Somerville and Cambridge and all of these, everyone around here is very much a cyclist.
Yeah. Well, Tom has lived
like,
a bunch of places. I believe he was born in Brooklyn, but he's also a musician. We'll talk more about Tom when we talk with Tom next week. But from wherever you are, you can get involved in this opportunity to Ride for the Cure. And if you want to do it through Team 44.4 Rides, you'll get a sticker or something from our team.
Figuring it out.
We're still figuring it out.
Like what that little goodie is going to be.
Keep an eye on Emmeline Art for a posting that has the process of the pictures of this beautiful fox riding on a bicycle. And as we're finishing today, I want to end with a final question for you.
Okay.
What is the last thing you like to be holding in your energetic space when you're going to sleep at night?
Oh, you've done enough. Can rest. Yeah. You've done good. You've done enough. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Emily, I'm grateful for you.
Yes, I have.
You are part of the reality.
I'm excited. I'm just excited to see how you lead this collective. I'm excited to meet other people who, I still have a lot to explore with it, but I am excited to be designing something for you guys.
And you have a t-shirt there, one of the original.
Yes, one of the original
for our t-shirts made by Laura Rodriguez, who I think will be printing our next t-shirts as long as she's able to.
Awesome.
So I'll be emailing her probably today and seeing if she's up for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's making me think in other ways as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've studied design and things like that, but since my thing is mostly animation, this has been like a fun little challenge and exercise.
Yeah.
Awesome. But also maybe, Yeah, there's so many things because I would love to see this fox animated too. So
Yeah.
even just for fun, like I might do a little
Well, doing a little
something.
animation that is the beginning and ending of my YouTube videos would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, anyways, that's all to say. Stay
More to
tuned.
come.
Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
there will be more.
Okay.
Well, we've done enough for
Yeah,
this
we've done
video.
enough. We've done enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you to anyone who watches and have a beautiful day. You also are enough and you do enough.